In a small village surrounded by lush green fields, there lived a family of four: a father named Mr. Thompson, a mother named Mrs. Thompson, and their two children, Lily and Ben. The Thompson family was known for their cheerful spirit and close-knit bond. They lived in a cozy little house with a garden where they grew vegetables and flowers. Mr. Thompson worked as a farmer, tending to the fields every day to grow crops. Every morning, he would rise before the sun, ready to work hard to provide for his family. Mrs. Thompson also helped in the fields and took care of the household chores, ensuring that their home was filled with love and warmth. Lily and Ben were bright and curious children. They loved to play outside, explore the fields, and help their parents when they could. However, like many children, they often asked for things that they wanted: new toys, sweets, and treats. They didn't fully understand the struggles their father faced to provide for them. As the seasons changed, so did the children's desires. "Dad, can we have ice cream every day?" Lily asked one hot summer afternoon. "And can I get a new bicycle?" Ben chimed in, pointing to a shiny bike he had seen in the village shop. Mr. Thompson smiled gently but felt a pang in his heart. "We'll see, kids. Let's focus on what we have for now," he replied, trying to manage their expectations. But the children's demands continued to grow. They wanted new clothes for the festival, special treats from the market, and even a pet. Each time they asked, Mr. Thompson would nod and promise to see what he could do. What Lily and Ben didn't know was how hard their father worked to make ends meet. The weather had been unpredictable that year, with too much rain washing away some of the crops. Mr. Thompson spent long hours in the fields, often coming home exhausted and covered in dirt. Every evening, after a long day of work, he would sit at the kitchen table, calculating the costs. He wanted to give his children everything, but the reality was that they were living on a tight budget. One day, after a particularly tough week, Mr. Thompson returned home with a heavy heart. He had sold only a small amount of produce at the market, and the bills were piling up. He tried to hide his worries from his family, but it was becoming increasingly difficult. One evening, while playing in the garden, Lily and Ben noticed their father sitting alone, staring at the ground. Concerned, they approached him. "Dad, what's wrong?" Lily asked. Mr. Thompson looked up, forcing a smile. "Oh, just thinking about the crops and how we can make them grow better," he replied. But the children could see that something was bothering him. That night, as they lay in bed, Lily and Ben couldn't shake the feeling that their father was struggling. They decided to investigate. Early the next morning, they quietly followed Mr. Thompson to the fields. From behind a tree, Lily and Ben watched as their father worked tirelessly. He dug, planted, and watered the crops, wiping sweat from his brow as he labored under the hot sun. They saw him talking to the plants, encouraging them to grow, and even pulling weeds that threatened to choke the life out of them. As they observed, they began to understand the effort their father put into every seed he planted. They noticed how he carefully tended to the plants, nurturing them as if they were his own children. The realization hit them hard. Their father was working extremely hard to provide for them, and it wasn't easy. Feeling a mix of guilt and admiration, Lily and Ben decided to help their father. The next day, they woke up early and joined him in the fields. "Dad, we want to help you," Ben exclaimed, determination shining in his eyes. Mr. Thompson was surprised but delighted. "Really? That would be wonderful," he said, his heart swelling with pride. Together, they worked side by side, planting seeds, watering the crops, and even learning how to pull weeds. As they toiled in the fields, the children began to appreciate the hard work that went into farming. They laughed and shared stories, bonding with their father in a way they had never done before. As the harvest season approached, the Thompson family worked together to prepare for the village harvest festival. They gathered their crops, decorated their home, and made delicious dishes to share with their neighbors. On the day of the festival, the village was alive with laughter, music, and joy. The Thompson family set up a stall, showcasing their fresh produce. To their surprise, many villagers praised their hard work and bought their fruits and vegetables, providing a much-needed boost to their finances. Lily and Ben beamed with pride as they watched their father smile and interact with the villagers. They realized that their father's hard work was not just for their desires, but for the happiness and well-being of the entire family. From that day forward, Lily and Ben understood the value of hard work and the importance of appreciating what they had. They learned to be grateful for their father's sacrifices and began to help more around the house and in the fields. As the seasons changed, so did their outlook on life. They still had dreams and desires, but they learned to express them in a way that acknowledged their father's hard work. They became more thoughtful and understanding, often surprising Mr. Thompson with small acts of kindness. The Thompson family grew closer, united by their shared experiences and newfound appreciation for each other. They celebrated each harvest, not just as a time for gathering food, but as a time for family, love, and gratitude. Mr. Thompson felt a sense of relief and joy, knowing that his children understood the value of hard work. He was proud of them for stepping up and helping, and he knew that together, they could face any challenge that came their way. This story teaches children the importance of hard work, gratitude, and understanding the sacrifices that parents make for their families. It emphasizes the value of teamwork and appreciation for what one has, fostering a sense of responsibility and compassion in young hearts.